your daily update. We are nearing the end of the second day of fighting here in Israel. Fighting is ongoing as we speak in southern Israel. Rockets are being fired at our civilians, and Israeli troops are fighting in the south in order to clear the south from terrorists and in order to be able to focus on the bigger task at hand, which is inside the Gaza Strip. Yesterday was a day of shock and horror. Today is a day where we have seen up close the results of the atrocities done by these Hamas monsters that came across our border and attacked our civilians in the communities. I don't know if you've been watching the news or if the news where you are have seen it fit to show you what's happening in Israel, but one of the most gruesome and appalling discoveries has been approximately 260 bodies that have been uncovered at a music festival in southern Israel. And if you ask yourself why the number of casualties in Israel was so high, we're talking about 700 dead Israelis. 260 of those dead Israelis were young Israelis who were at this music festival in southern Israel and who were executed on the spot, and many of those who were at the festival were also taken into Gaza. And if you've been watching horrible snuff videos from Gaza, some of those young men and women paraded on the streets in Gaza by happy Palestinian terrorists are indeed people who participated just hours before that in the music festival. So the fighting continues. Hopefully, I know I said this tomorrow, but hopefully by I said this yesterday, but hopefully by tomorrow we'll be able to declare that finally Israel is clear of terrorists. That has not yet been achieved, and as we're speaking, there's fighting in southern Israel. In different Israeli communities, every few minutes there's another terrorist popping up, trying to kill Israeli civilians, or perhaps understanding that he's doomed and then attacking Israeli troops or civilians, knowing that there's no way back for him into the Gaza Strip. That's the situation now. We have mobilized, we have called up approximately 100,000 Israeli troops. They are now organizing and preparing to launch an attack at Hamas in Gaza. And as we speak, we are also striking their military targets inside the Gaza Strip. And so far, we have been able to kill more than 400 terrorists. Now, a little bit about numbers. You know, there's a lot of numbers in the media speaking about Palestinian casualties and Israeli casualties. When we speak about our casualties, first and foremost, it's about our civilians that were killed by Hamas. And then it's about the military. The numbers that you'll hear coming out of Palestinian sources is usually all of the numbers cobbled together in one pile. And they won't distinguish and they won't let you know how many of those that they report dead are actually Hamas terrorists or what they would call fighters. And they will have you believe that all of the people that are killed in Gaza were innocent civilians. That is not the case. Many of those killed so far in Gaza, I'd say most, are terrorists. And we in the IDF, as we will embark on the war to set things straight with Hamas, will be hunting down terrorists. We are not looking to kill civilians, and we will try as much as possible not to kill civilians and not to harm infrastructure in any way. But you have to understand, the circumstances are extremely dire, and the level, the atrocity and the cruelty of attack against Israel is unprecedented, and it forces Israel to provide an unprecedented response against Hamas. So it's a very sensitive time here in Israel, and I want you, as always, to remember, be very critical of the information that you consume. I don't know what media outlets you listen to and who's in your feed and what you see when you scroll. But if it's critical of Israel, take it with a grain of salt. And over the coming days, there will be sad stories coming out of Gaza, and people will start to blame Israel for everything that's happening. That won't be fair. And it'll be important that you keep in mind how this war started and what I've just told you, that we are committed to international law, but that this time around, we are going to make sure that at the end of the war, Hamas doesn't have any military capabilities to continue fighting against Israel. That's what we want to achieve. If you have friends in Israel, family in Israel, I'm sure that these are very stressful times. It's stressful and sad for everybody here. Today, dozens of Israelis were buried. There were funerals all over Israel. Same thing will be tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. But at the end of it, this I can assure you, Hamas will no longer have military capabilities to threaten Israeli civilians, and we will change the security on the border for the better for Israel and for every Palestinian in Gaza as well. So I hope you stay connected, keep following the info that we disseminate, and make sure that you stay strong and support Israel.
Subscribe to One India channel and never miss an update.